and welcome to another episode of This Is My Bourbon Podcast. My name is Perry, and I am your host. And this is our second episode where we wrap up the Bourbon and Beyond Festival from a couple weekends ago. Now, this again is not going to have a review or tips and bits like we normally do, but it is instead going to be a whole conversation where I talk with Fred Minnick of Bourbon Plus and the Bourbon Pursuit podcast, and then Paul Blackburn, who is a local restaurant owner up in Louisville, as well as Autumn from Jephthah Creed. And this, so a little bit of backstory on how this episode came to be. It was unfortunate that the Sunday of Bourbon and Beyond had to be canceled, but I got to be honest with you, there was so much rain that if we even tried to stand in that open field and listen to music, we would just drown. I mean, there was no chance that we were going to be able to make that happen. So it was in our best interest, and the best interest of, I say our like I had something to do with it. It was in the best interest of the patrons and the people who were there to go ahead and cancel the show. And it sucked, but we, of course, are super looking forward to next year. But before we get there, we, as I said, have a really great conversation with Fred, Paul, and Autumn. And I'm not doing a whole lot of editing on this episode. I'm going to be very honest with you because it is a lot of fun, and I want you to kind of experience it in the same way that I did. So as we're going to just really hop right into it. So enjoy.
Feeling it. All right. And you have my permission to use my beautiful voice. Welcome to This Is My Bourbon Podcast. Right? That's what it's called?
That's what it's called, yeah. Yeah, I'm just going to use that as the intro from now on, though.
Welcome to This Is My Bourbon Podcast. What you wearing?
How you doing?
Gotta dance with your date.
What'd you say?
Can I dance with your date?
You see that sign over there that says
What's
rib
J-Date,
tips?
by the way? You ever heard of J-Date?
It's for Jewish people to meet and mingle.
Is it really?
Is that what that is?
Absolutely.
I had no
They
idea.
keep advertising toward me. Like, I keep getting these ads for J-Date in my Facebook feed.
It's trying to tell you something, friend.
It's the weirdest thing.
They're trying to recruit you.
I mean, I'm married, so maybe...
No, they're trying to recruit you into the Jewish faith.
Oh, you know, that's... Oh, that's...
Bulk in my mill.
I could see that.
Yeah.
I respect the Jewish
my
faith.
gosh.
Absolutely.
I just like that we both said exactly the
Same thing at the same. Almost
Is
the
this
same
my
time.
coffee?
Actually,
Almost
Paul
at the same
Paul
time,
does,
yeah.
does that a lot. He is a salesman through and through, and one of his skills is that he can size you up in a matter of 30 minutes, and he will be saying things that is his mind analytically programs things to say to you just to get you to buy something.
It's just a God-given gift.
Well, we've been sitting here for about 30 minutes with each other. So have you sized me up yet?
Yeah, I think you're a very, you're a genuinely good dude. I got that feeling.
Oh,
You're
thanks.
passionate about what you're doing.
Thanks, Paul.
I see a bright future for you and in the bourbon business. And
You're going to make me cry.
yeah, don't cry.
And now
There's
he's
no
going
crying in
to,
bourbon.
he's going to lay hands on you. And,
You're healed.
I've been given the blessing.
by the power of bourbon. Specifically, Jephthah Creed.
I feel you. Come on down the aisle.
Can I get an amen?
Amen.
No, the reverend for the local church around where my farm is, he really talks like that.
Yeah.
Like, that's actually how he preaches. And it's hilarious.
Good.
Yeah.
Does he get in a sweat when he's like going around? And
He doesn't get in a sweat anymore. I mean, he's like 80-something years old now, but he talks like that. He'll move his hands and shakes his head, the whole 9 yards.
Do you like lose your sweat glands when you get old? Because I have noticed that older people don't sweat.
I think they
have
sweat
no
through their
idea.
feet.
They sweat through their
I
feet.
think their feet get stinkier.
Oh,
I'm just saying.
I buy that.
Yeah. That's what I'm going with.
Have you ever been to the fair and there's that little booth at the fair where they have you stick your feet in the water and they say it cleanses you?
Yeah, no thanks.
And it takes out all the toxins. And you walk by it and it's like, it's gross.
It's
like
the
poo in
dirtiest
the
water
Think
ever.
about how many people have stuck their feet in that. I mean,
Well,
no,
I think they
no.
changed the water out.
My mother-in-law has one of those machines, and they work miracles.
Are you serious?
Yeah, my hand to God, my father-in-law uses it twice a week, and it's lowered the pH in his body, and it's helped out with his blood pressure and his cholesterol count. That's the only thing he's changed, is using the foot bath. It's kind of like voodoo, but seriously, I mean, it works. And there's like this whole chart of things with the water looks a certain way. It can pull blood clots through your feet, tell you all kinds of wild things like parasites and whatnot. Just saying.
Well, I think bourbon does a pretty good job killing parasites too.
Yeah, speaking of bourbon,
Bourbon.
Yeah.
we got a fun little, not so much roundtable, but a little discussion that we're gonna have.
I do
going here,
believe
but-
Square table.
Bourbon
Square
round
table, yeah.
table is taken, sir.
I know
You
it
can't
is.
use that.
I'm not going to. I don't want to step on
As
anybody's
a-
toes over at
As
the
a
Bourbon Pursuit podcast.
Bourbon Pursuit podcaster, I am hereby ordering you to cease and desist
Are
the
you-
Bourbon Roundtable word.
You didn't sign a contract or anything, right? That says you can't be on any other. Like it's not. It's not a.
I can do whatever I want.
I'm Fred Minnick.
No, I am.
Yeah. Happy Sunday morning.
Hallelujah.
Already been to church, I guess.
Yeah. Well, your reverend, he like embodied us. We had the spirit
you
there
go.
for a minute.
Just spirit of bourbon.
I like your Autumn. I like your necklace. What is that? Got a jade?
I think it's just a geote that
No, it's
It's fake.
just a rock thing.
it's just a rock
That's
thing.
really cool.
It is.
I like rocks. I used to like collecting
In my
them as a
bourbon.
kid. No, actually, I don't like ice in my bourbon. It depends on the
I don't
bourbon.
either.
I like ice in my bourbon. I like something really cold.
Yeah.
You like it in.
He also
Basil
drinks.
Hayden,
He
you
also
Basil
drink.
Hayden.
He
Yep,
also
that's one of
drinks
my
vodka.
favorites.
So
Oh.
you have to dismiss him a
I
little
do
bit.
not drink vodka.
I've seen you drink vodka before. I've seen you order a vodka and a soda.
Well, I mean, that's
So-
not. It's a means to an end. If that makes sense.
Yeah, it's a means to an end of being cool.
Thanks. I was never cool to begin with.
Yeah,
So.
you're pretty cool. All
Fred-
right, so you got this whole thing you want to do. So
I
I'll
don't even
shut
know.
up.
I don't even know if anything's going to happen at this point. What I was going to say though is you need to come out with a cool list at the end of the year, and like a cool list and a not cool list. And Paul's going to be at like the top of the not.
I'm totally going to be at the top of the not cool list. Yeah.
I'll tell you. I will tell you this about Paul. He is actually my coolest friend.
Is he?
I mean that
Wow.
sincerely.
Man, Fred's getting real deep here.
Yeah.
Give you a fist bump on that one,
Yeah,
buddy. Thanks.
he will bend over. He's the kind of friend who will take his shoes off and a sticker patch to give to you if you're
Aw.
both in a sticker patch.
That's heartwarming.
He's
It
got
is.
your back.
Fred
Well, I love
seems
you too, buddy.
Fred seems to get real deep on this show for some reason. Like I don't know what it is. I just pull the.
You know, people with cool hair have a tendency to pull things out of me. So, you know, hey, doesn't he have nice hair, Autumn?
He does.
Thank you.
Do you use
This is the-
conditioner?
I.
What do you use?
Yes.
Bourbon.
Oh yeah, I have bourbon shampoo. No, this is the second time recently that I've had to talk about my hair on this show. But yes, I shampoo twice. It's that shampoo conditioner.
You shampoo twice?
I do shampoo twice.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I don't even
So he
take my
I
hair-
don't
actually follows the
even.
instructions on the shampoo bottle.
Oh wow. You know,
That's the key to good hair. Read the directions. Damn it.
The last time that washing hair was of interest to me, from a news perspective, was when they were. They were actually saying like you don't need to wash your hair every day,
Right.
and so
I
I
don't,
was like,
but-
fine, I won't wash my hair every day, and then weird stuff started happening.
Like your hair look great?
Like no,
No,
like
he started
it-
liking reggae music.
No,
and-
like I started getting like these bumps on the back of my head a little bit, and
Some olive oil.
and I never got those. And you know, my wife, she's a doctor, and I was telling her about it. She's like, "Well, what have you changed differently?" I was like, "Well, I don't wash my hair every day." Well, so she's like, "Wash your fucking hair."
Follow the directions.
So, you know, there might be
Common
something.
freaking sense.
There might be something to washing your hair for good hair. I mean, what do you think? You got more hair than all of us.
I personally don't wash my hair every day, but
No.
I've always done
How
that,
often
though.
do you wash your hair?
Once every other day.
Okay.
And see, he said he doesn't wash his hair every day.
I don't.
You and I are the only two people who wash our hair every day, and then we have ball caps on because we're balding a little bit in places.
Well, that and we're 40.
That's true.
Yeah.
We are both 40
Yeah.
years old.
This is 40.
Getting gray.
I was going to just say that again, I promise. Jeez. All right.
Paul, I think we're brothers or something.
Well, we
I
have
don't
to
know.
be.
Cut from the same
You
cloth.
actually kind of look alike.
My dad was adopted.
Was he?
So, yeah.
All right.
But
he
he
a-
was from upstate New York.
I have no family from there. I kind of look like a New
Well,
Yorker.
if
but-
I know anything about the Blackburn family, that seed traveled.
Long and far.
So there was a
wind.
there was a guy named Blackburn who was running for governor in the 1800s, and he was bribing people at the ballot box with shots of Old Crow back when Old Crow was really good.
Was he from Eastern Kentucky?
He was.
That's where my family originated from, in
Well-
the hills of Pike County, Kentucky.
So he ran out Old Crow and lost.
Really?
Yeah. And see, George Washington, on the other hand, he actually, when he was running for Congress when we were a colony, he actually bribed people with rum, and he did not run out.
Well, you know what? George Washington's wife, his name was Martha Blackburn.
Oh, is that right?
That's right.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely.
So are you related to
Way
Washington?
back. Yeah. So
Wow.
our people, when they came to the United States, kind of settled through
people.
Kentucky, Virginia, and then southern in Tennessee.
Well,
So
wasn't there a Blackburn too on the Constitution?
I feel
that's
like
a
I'm on
Google.
an issue of like street knowledge right now. So no, I don't know the answer to that
Yeah,
question.
that's a Google. I think there was a Blackburn
I can't
on
type
the
left-handed.
that signed the original Constitution. I think he was.
That is worth looking into.
Yeah.
I think he was a representative from South Carolina. if
South
If memory
Carolina.
serves.
Let's see.
It's the
But-
history.
So all right,
History
so
podcast.
you've got
So, yeah,
you got
let's-
this whole show thing.
Let's talk a little bit about what just happened yesterday.
I washed my hair. I started the day off with a good lather upon this lovely hair, and then I used pomade, and I combed it over. Okay, so
I have a couple hair products too that I used.
all right,
So
well,
it's
we're
okay.
gonna.
Anyway.
I'm gonna get off track
So-
again. You keep setting me up with this stuff.
So yesterday was Bourbon and Beyond.
Oh my God, wasn't it awesome?
It was fantastic. I thought
Was
it
it
was
awesome?
leaps and bounds better than it was last year, and last year was incredible too.
You know, in developing it and being the curator of it and of both of them, I will say that this year it just felt so strong. And last year I developed the seminars and I helped with all the bourbons, but this year I had a lot of touching into the planning.
Yeah.
From day one, I've been planning this for a year. And one of the big things that I have been trying to get is this seminar, the Jack and Jim seminar.
Yeah.
That I would get the master distiller from Jim Beam and master distiller from Jack Daniels on the stage. It's been a dream of mine. I mean, I worked so hard to get that, and I actually had to go through all these chains of emails and everything with
Sure.
with both companies. It was very interesting because they wanted to be. They wanted to make sure that things were. They didn't so much care how things were on stage, but they were really concerned about the lead up to it with like the marketing of it. They were like, we really like each other. We really we consider us friendly rivalries.
Yeah.
Basically, and like we don't want this to come off like it's a punch match or a boxing match or
Sure.
something. Even though that's a little bit how people perceived it.
Kind of wanted.
Yeah, but they didn't want to, market it that way.
Sure.
And I understand that. And I feel like, and one of them came up with the name Jack and Jim, What's the Difference? I was like, that's a brilliant title.
Perfect.
I thought it was a
Absolutely.
brilliant title. And it kind of fell through. And in moderating that, it really did follow the path of just a couple of gentlemen who are, disagree on a lot of things, kind of talking. It's a very fun seminar to moderate.
Right.
But they were gentlemen through and through. Actually, I was the only non-gentleman on the stage. And that, Fred whipped me around a little bit. That was good. I need that.
Yeah. You seem like you're having fun.
Oh, I
yesterday,
had a
too.
blast.
Good.
And the other one big one that I moderated that it was really important is like, we're looking at an epic moment in history where women and people of all races are getting opportunity. And I was so proud to be able to moderate change, the cultural evolution with Fawn Weaver and celebrity chef Tom Colicchio.
And
that was
an
so great.
Incredible seminar, too. I was able to sit in for that. And
Awesome.
Fawn reiterated a couple of things that she had said on our show, because we got to sit down with her about 2 hours before the seminar. And she is so passionate about what she does and doesn't care what anybody else says.
Well, and I got to tell you, when we talk, I'm a white dude. I'm not.
I had no idea.
Yeah, and a lot of people won't touch the subject.
Right.
But I've been writing about enslaved persons in the distilling business for almost 10 years, and now there's an interest. But I think there was a concern from some of us in the community that we were going to sweep all that stuff away in this growth pattern.
Right.
We wouldn't pay attention to that heritage. And I've tried to keep it alive, but there's only so much, that I could write about to get people to pay attention. Fawn Weaver comes to the discussion of diversity with a damn sledgehammer and knocks down the door and says, pay attention. Mm-hmm. And it's not a political movement. It is purely about giving people opportunity. And
right.
And you heard it on the stage. It just, people earn the opportunity, but they need to be given the opportunity.
Sure.
And that's a big part of what this whole movement is about. Tom Colicchio has been a part of that from the very beginning. So it was a fantastic panel, and I'm so proud to have been able to moderate that.
And I think one of the most important things that came out of that discussion, too, was Tom saying it doesn't happen by accident. It happens by design.
And that moment about, him, raising boys,
yeah,
how to be men, that was amazing?
Really powerful, I thought.
Yeah. I mean, it's, we talk about this all the time. Paul, I think about, Victoria, your daughter, and, she's gonna grow up into a world that was easier than her mama's and her grandma's.
Victoria is a force to be reckoned with, number one. But you're right, and it makes me proud to be a dad of a young lady that's growing up. And just to give you a little story, the other day, my son was like, Victoria, you can't do that. You're a girl. And immediately I stopped him in what he was doing. Son, your sister can do whatever she wants to do, however she wants to do it, just as good as you can. So I think it's important for all fathers of young ladies to really, have that passion. And guys like Tom and Fred and Fawn talk about those things. Mm-hmm. Keeps it top of mind for people. So for me, that was cool to be there like you and listen to it.
Yeah.
I get and I can't see it, but I get goosebumps thinking about that because it's awesome.
Yeah.
And of course, we have here with us probably the foremost woman in the distilling business right now, or one of them.
Thank you.
You're pretty badass.
Well, I appreciate that. I like being badass.
And Autumn, I was going to turn this over to you, too, to talk about how you feel. Yeah. By the way, this is Autumn from Jeff the Creed.
Yeah. Sorry.
Oh, they know it. She's
That's
got
me.
a cool preacher, too.
Yeah.
And she washes her hair every other day.
What's your favorite color?
Red.
Oh, I didn't guess that. I was
Yeah.
going to guess blue.
No.
There's a lot of red in the Jeff the Creed marketing and
And her hair's
the
red.
branding.
There
and her
is.
hair is red, too.
Yes.
I'm going to pull out. I'm not going to say anything else. I'm just going to shut up now.
Autumn, what do you feel like your role as a woman in this industry is? Do you feel like you have had to overcome any kind of boundaries in terms of establishing yourself, or have you felt like it's just a natural progression, like you just were able to jump into it and nobody said anything?
I think as far as the people in the industry, it's kind of been a natural progression for me so far. I mean, not only am I establishing myself as a woman in the industry, I'm establishing myself as a young person in the industry. I'm new to the bourbon game, so to speak.
Right.
So I think it's just kind of been a natural progression for me. They kind of gone hand in hand.
I think that you kind of undersell yourself a little bit, you know. You guys made the only vodka I've ever said nice things about.
Well, I did enjoy watching that on Facebook Live. That was entertaining.
Do you know how big of a deal that is?
Oh, I do. Believe
just-
me, people still talk to me about it.
Okay, he just beat me up for drinking vodka one time. I mean,
did.
right here on the. I mean, like really.
This is what puts
Good
you on the
on
not
you.
cool
All right, so
list.
I'd love to know, how did you get it? I mean, do you add glycerin to it? What do you do to
Nothing.
make it taste like good?
We use Bloody Butcher corn. That's what we use to make it taste good.
What's
it's
that
a
off the
100% corn vodka.
I mean, you're distilling it to 190 proof?
We are. It goes up to 191, 192, and then we
Wow.
pull it off and we
Do you-
proof it
do you
down with
blend
RO
it-
water.
Do you blend it with a lower proof distillate or anything?
No.
That's unreal.
No,
I mean,
we distill it straight from our corn. We take our corn that we harvest in the fields, which we just started harvesting this week. So hopefully it rains or stops raining long enough for us to finish. But we take it from the corn, we mill it on site, we ferment it, cook it, send it over to our column still for the low wines, and then we take those low wines, put them in our vodka still, distill it up to 190, 192, somewhere in there, and then we pull it off and proof it down to 80 and bottle it.
So the Bloody Butcher corn, it has that it has enough oils to carry through in the
It does.
distillation?
I think it has more than yellow corn. We take it off. We filter it twice, and we chill filter that one now because we started chill filtering it because we've had some people be like, "There's too much flavor. Vodka shouldn't have any flavor." Yeah, too much flavor for a vodka, and it's still
Fred,
coming
your
off. You can
response?
still smell. You can still smell the almost butterscotch, the cookie notes that come from the corn.
It's mesmerizing in some ways. I have a business. I would like to do business with you. Let's create a vodka brand together. Let's call it Vodka Sucks. And
With an X.
and then no, let's do it right.
Okay.
Let's do it right. And we just donate every dollar to a veteran charity. What do you think?
I like that plan. Maybe not the Vodka Sucks name, but I like the plan.
It has to be Vodka Sucks.
Vodka rocks.
No.
Can you imagine Fred putting his name on anything that says Vodka Rocks?
Well,
last
you know
night,
what?
You told me last night it would take $10 million
Yeah.
for you to put your name on a bourbon brand or a vodka brand. $10 million.
I said that last night.
You did.
That's low. I must have been in a good mood.
Yeah, you were feeling pretty good.
You seem like you were in a good mood for most of the day yesterday. You were a
yeah.
little stressed in the morning, I'll say that much.
You know, I was stressed. I was stressed because I have a lot of expectations on myself.
Sure.
And I'll be honest with you, I'm very rarely happy with anything I do. I've pretty much hate every book I've written, and and the reason why is because I'll see like one thing I wish I could have done better, and I'll focus on that, and I'll try to do it better the next time. That's just how I am. I kind of feel like Nick Saban. The guy gets, he wins football games like 62-7. And he gets mad because somebody, dropped a pass on the, 42-yard line or
Right.
something, or misses a field goal. And so I'm such a perfectionist, and I think that's probably why I will always be pushing and working, because I hate failing, and Bourbon and Beyond to me is an opportunity to bring bourbons to the forefront for a lot of people, and I don't want to disappoint the bourbons. Like, if Autumn told me that she was unhappy, I would stop everything I was doing, and no matter what it was, no matter who I was talking to, and I would do whatever I could to make sure that Bourbon and Beyond was a success for her.
I'm going to give a little story to provide some context to that.
Please.
So Fred and I were out, and I've been his de facto assistant this weekend through the week to help him get planned for things. So we were out at the Big Bourbon Bar before the show on Wednesday or Thursday, and we were walking through and checking all the signs to make sure it was right. And Fred found a few inaccuracies to some of the signs that were advertising the bourbon.
Very, very small. Very small.
I mean, I'm talking like
Apostrophes.
99.9 people percent would not have noticed that.
Sure.
He stopped what he was doing. He got on the phone with the right people, and every one of those signs were changed to make sure that the bourbon brands were absolutely represented to what the trademark was. And I'll tell you that I don't know if people would even notice that, but how great is that to have an ambassador for your brands that are going out and do that? So that, to me, like,
It's fantastic.
verifies exactly what he's
Absolutely.
saying.
And before we started recording, Paul and I, too, were talking about my anxieties towards the bourbon boom ending. And what I was getting at, though, was my anxieties are always quelled by, my fears are always quelled by Fred's dancing.
Yeah.
You can't see it, but Fred is really digging whatever this song is. I can't hear it right now.
All I know is I feel like I'm going to a disco right now, and I got my high shoes on.
In your windbreaker?
That's
Yeah.
actually a really nice rain jacket.
Damn nice rain jacket.
Is it? Sorry.
All right, go on.
Apologies. Anyway, what I was
Quelling.
getting at was, I see people like you who are so passionate about it. I see people like Autumn who are still trying to, bring new things to the table.
Yeah, I'm telling you, her move is going. When she makes her move in this business, there's gonna be a whole lot of people. She's gonna be looking on the rear view mirror to a lot of people. She's very talented.
That's exciting too.
I appreciate that.
Yeah. But it makes me feel like it's not going to end anytime soon, and
Well,
we still
here's
have
the
a long
thing.
way to go with it.
Absolutely.
That's a very nice thing to say. But I will tell you, as bourbon historically goes up and goes down, it goes up and down, and what has really been the problem is that has always been based on the consumption. Like the last time bourbon was up and then it went down, it did not have a tourist component, and it did not have a festival like Bourbon and Beyond, and it certainly didn't have something like my magazine, Bourbon Plus, which just came out this week. Oh, right here.
Little plug.
Yeah, right.
And oh, by the way, I had a baby. That's another thing. We had a baby, like
Technically, you didn't have
No,
a
my
baby.
wife had a baby 3 weeks ago, and so I had launching the magazine and Bourbon and Beyond. So it had a lot going on this past
And
couple
you
weeks.
redid your website too.
That's right. I redid my website, and
This guy's looking out for you, Fred.
And I curated a really cool festival or a really cool auction called the Art of Bourbon at the Speed Museum, where her dad actually dropped $10,000 on a 1952 bottle of Albert Blanton that he picked, a bottle that he specifically picked out, or a barrel that he picked out.
Ooh, boy.
Yes.
So where is your dad going to be putting that bottle then?
Well, that's what we're trying to figure out right now.
In the vault.
It's hidden away.
It's
Nobody knows where
in
the
my
pot-
belly.
where the
I have
popper
a
is.
really good idea. I have this amazing glass that I would love to see what it looks like in it.
And then he has these taste buds that he would really like to roll the bourbon
Really
over,
need to
and-
assess it.
He joked with our general manager at the distillery. He told him, like, oh, I cracked it open after I got home, and the look on his face was priceless.
Do you think he'll invite us over for when he opens it?
If he ever opens it.
Really?
I don't think he ever will.
Did you see my Facebook feed about that?
I did.
People talking about adding Coke to it and crap.
Coke.
I can't believe people would do that.
I mean, I wanted to reach through the
Cocaine,
cyber
not
webs and
Coca-Cola.
strangle them.
I'm confused.
Get off your phone, Paul.
All right, sorry.
Hey, Paul, actually, what did you find out about the Blackburn on the Constitution?
In fact, there were 38 signers of the U.S. Constitution, and there were no Blackburns.
No Blackburns.
No black.
But a lot of other cool people.
But there was a Blackburn in early America that did something. This I'm sure of.
Well, Martha Blackburn married George Washington, if that counts for anything. I mean,
No. Yes, it does count. That's fantastic. Thank you, Martha.
I'm gonna start a Twitter thread called Fred Minnick Quote of the Day. And it's
Well-
going to be just those general things. Like,
I'm
there was a
filling you up
Blackburn
here.
who did something.
You're right, man. He does that a lot,
923:18.
though, bro. It's like, he'll get through lose the part of the thought at the end and just be like, it's something, or that stuff.
Yeah, listen, if I'm not writing, the thoughts don't always get completed. And I know I sound like
Fredisms.
I'm on medication or something, but I probably am. I just don't know about it.
Jacqueline hooking you
Jacqueline's like, drugging me up while I'm having my morning coffee.
Who's Jacqueline?
Oh, that's my
Is that
wife.
your wife? Oh, okay. I didn't know her name.
What'd you call her?
Did you say Jacqueline?
Jacqueline, yeah.
Okay.
Did you
that's what I
call her?
said.
Did you call her Jackie?
No, I said Jacqueline.
Because let me tell you what happens to people when they call her Jackie. Start missing kneecaps.
You'll have an uninvited guest on your next show. That's all he's saying.
I tell you what, she will kick that ass. Only cute old men are allowed to call her Jackie.
I said Jacqueline.
And you got too good a hair to call her Jackie.
She will kick your ass, man. I'm telling you. She will straight up with that ass.
Okay. Well, sorry. You lost me for a second there.
Hey, man, you're the interviewer here. You got to get with it.
I'm trying, man. I'm trying. But if you keep talking about your wife whooping
What'd
me,
you say about my wife? Dude,
that
come
she
on.
could beat me up,
Yeah, it's true.
which is fair. I'm not.
I don't know. You might be able to hold your own with her.
I wouldn't.
Fred's looking me up and down. I'm getting a little worried.
I'm not looking you up and down anymore. I'm looking over here now.
Well, Autumn, let's talk a little bit too about your. Stop.
I mean, how do you transition? Then?
You can't. You can't. That's the thing.
Just jump right in.
Let's talk a little bit too about your bourbon products that are
Absolutely.
out or coming out soon. So, talk a little bit about what separates your bourbon from maybe other distilleries.
Well, because we're using this Bloody Butcher corn, we can't source it from somebody else. We like to say that to make a 2-year bourbon, it takes 3 years of planning. Because since we grow our corn, we have to take a year to grow it.
Right.
And then from there, after that, we can distill it and then age it for 2 years to be called straight bourbon. So
Right.
it takes a little bit of extra time and planning to get that bourbon on the shelf. So right now we've been open for a little under 2 years now. Our straight bourbon will be coming out in April of 2019. And it's going to be our 4-grain
Awesome.
mash bill.
Nice.
We've also
Very
got a
cool.
rye mash bill and a wheat mash bill that's on the way,
Wow.
but that's going to still be aging for a little bit longer. And then
Man.
right now we've got our Bloody Butcher's Creed line of spirits that we do. It's all whiskey so far.
Right.
And right now we've got our 1.5 year out. It's on the shelves in Kentucky, Indiana, Rhode Island, and soon to be Tennessee. So that's out right now. We kind of call it our Distiller Select, and Fred's still dancing.
Well, I have like a stupid question, not being a bourbon expert like the rest of you guys, but are you like one of the only distilleries that actually grow your own corn? You're your own farmers and harvest it? I know, they buy
That's
a lot
a
of...
great question. Yeah, that's a great
we're
question.
one of the few. Yeah,
I can't think of any.
in Kentucky,
I can't really either.
can't think of anybody who grows all of their corn solely for their products. I know there's a couple distilleries in Illinois that are growing their corn as well.
Okay.
Yeah, the Illinois distillers, they were, most of them were like corn farmers first, so you're not looking at like that same kind of corn that she's doing.
Yeah.
It's pretty common with, like there's some increased efforts in the barley side.
Okay.
For, like people are growing barley and stuff.
Well, I know for me, like being a consumer and like an
And a
expert,
restaurant owner.
and a restaurant owner.
What's
Yeah,
your-
I just we'll talk about that. I own 3 local restaurants
Oh,
here.
what are they
in
called?
Louisville. One, our newest place is called Cuvillon. It's a Cajun and Southern restaurant with an excellent bourbon list right here in Germantown in Louisville, Kentucky. Then over on the Indiana side, we own a place called Parlor. It's
Oh,
a pizza and beer, but believe it or not, we have bourbon on tap at our restaurant.
It's incredible.
You can
Wow,
come
that's
get a pool
awesome.
of bourbon on tap. And then thirdly is Citizen 7 out in Norton Commons. We do a lot more tequila and tacos. But believe it or not, we still have 25, 30 bourbons, that we have available for people.
What do you do? Every restaurant, every good restaurant
Right.
has something cocktail-wise that is purely inspired by their food or by their chef.
Sure.
What are some of the bourbon cocktails that you all have across the board that separate you from?
Well, you're going to laugh. And
I can see Fred dancing in the reflection. By the way.
that's why you're laughing. Really, so
go ahead. Go ahead.
So at Cuvillon, what we did, which I think is kind of a throwback back to the day, is we wanted to bring the classics back, right? So we tried to make our more classic bourbon drinks $5 with a really, really good house bourbon versus, in a restaurant where you're trying to focus on food and pair the cocktails is, if it takes 15 minutes to get your drink and your food's coming out, you're not really getting to enjoy your beverage. So we try to go back instead of getting too fancy and keep it simple. Pick your favorite bourbon with
Sure.
your favorite mixer. $5 for these certain listed drinks. So we're really
Right.
just trying to get people to come in and enjoy the bourbon Dave Tooney is our bar manager with Chef Paul Schoolis. They've done a really good job of selecting some really, really great things. We have some good reps out there. Some of the guys over at Heaven Hill have really done a nice job of working with our guys there. We really love them.
I've got an idea for you.
I love ideas.
Why don't you do a dinner with Autumn?
Yeah, we'd love to.
Well, you know what? Let's work it out. We
Absolutely.
absolutely get that done. We like to
Yeah.
do special events, and anytime we can partner with anybody, local folks is just
Sure.
cool.
And you know
we
what?
wanna do it.
I would love to see your chef. Can you give him some corn?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh,
yeah,
that'd
we
be
take
cool.
that's what the Bloody Butcher corn was originally used for, was
Why not-
cornmeal.
Why don't you get your chef to make some dishes out of their corn?
Chef
And
Schoolis is super committed to buying all local as much as he can, and I'd say it's like 90% of what we buy. So yeah, that would be so cool.
Local being Costco.
Well, we
you
like
available
we
at
like we like
Costco?
Kroger better.
Quantity
so-
over quality.
No kidding. But I mean, so yeah, I mean that would be cool. I mean, even at Citizen 7, our taco place, we do a dope elote. How cool would it be a Bloody Butcher, elote with the shot of Jeff Creed?
Is
I
it
mean, that's-
dope?
Absolutely.
Is the dope-elote dope?
I mean, dope is a word that you can use. See, that's why I'm your coolest friend. I just used a word that you're not comfortable using. And I made it sound awesome.
I hate that word, dope.
Yeah.
I hate the word dope, and I hate the word dude. When someone dudes me, I'm like, ugh.
An ingrown hair on an elephant's ass is what a dude is. Technically.
Really?
Yeah.
What do you do with an ingrown hair on an elephant's ass?
Well, I'm not an elephant, so I don't know. Or
what do you
veterinarian.
think they do? Do they like rub up against a tree to like relieve themselves?
I would say one of the other elephants may come over and use its trunk
Elephant
with
tweezers?
183 muscles in it to, help them out. I mean, I don't know. It's a really random question.
I'm just picturing the biggest tweezers you've ever seen, and they're like,
right, basically.
extra-
Yeah, they need a crane for that. But no, I need your card after this because I think that would
Absolutely.
be so cool and would love to support you guys. My dad worked with maybe your mom at Roman Hostel
Yeah,
Chemical.
that would be my mom. That's
Yeah.
where she got her career started at.
Yeah, Paul Blackburn Sr. I'm a junior. My dad has a real affinity for you guys and loves your mom and all that. So
There you go.
Yeah.
Wow.
See? It all ties together.
Yeah.
Small
little big
world.
city here in Louisville, Kentucky.
That's right. We really are. We all hate people in Lexington. So
Yeah.
Whoa.
Well, no, we don't.
I'm kidding. No.
No, that's fine. I don't live in Lexington
No,
right now.
no, this dude's the biggest Cards fan I know.
Yeah.
He's a huge Cards fan, and
He just called you
he
dude.
hates. Oh, I'm sorry. That's okay it's what's weird is that I do call people dude, and I don't even apply the same courtesy that I ask others to apply to me, because I hate being called dude.
Okay, so I think now that the vodka brand has to be Dude Vodka Rocks.
That's taken.
Dude, vodka rock.
It's got
That's a great name for something,
That's already taken. It's got a guy with sunglasses on there and spritzed up hair.
Oh.
It's from the 90s.
Okay.
I don't know.
Sprit's a word.
I made that up.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, a spritz
Not,
is a real
not
word.
in this case.
Not, yeah.
You know what? I don't even know what are we talking about now.
We're talking about Jeff the Creed.
Jeff the Creed.
We are.
Well, I could
Yeah.
talk about Jeff the Creed all day long. Hey, you know what? Autumn and I
Let's
are
do
doing an
it.
event together at the Kentucky Derby Museum.
We are. February 21st.
Yes, February 21st. So you can get your tickets at derbymuseum.org.
Okay.
Are you coming to the food and wine experience on the October 20th the Courier Journal's putting on?
No, but
At Norton
I
Commons?
can get that done.
Give me your card. I'll give you
Absolutely.
the
I would
contact there.
I don't understand why they always do it when I'm out of town. They always do that event when I'm out of town. It's like they're finding a way, like, all right, guys, get into Fred's schedule, see when he's out of town.
It's like Forecastle. I feel like I'm always gone for Forecastle.
Forecastle's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sorry you have to miss it.
It's okay.
Great
I'll
event.
get over it eventually. Well, anyway, let's wrap up a little bit. Just
No.
well,
I wanted to
fun.
keep going.
well, okay, fine. Let's just keep going because we're. Oh, that's only 40 minutes in.
I
That's
kind of
fine.
want tacos, though. So we can wrap up.
Yeah.
Well,
Can we go get tacos after this?
We could go to Cuvion and have brunch.
Oh. Can we
Best
all do
brunch in
that?
Louisville.
yeah, let's do that.
Yeah.
We'll just keep this gang together.
Sure.
I like
Why
it.
not?
We'll go over
Why
there
not?
and eat.
What's great is he's actually going to buy because he owns a
I
restaurant.
absolutely will buy. And just for the record, I'm not the only owner, so I'm going to call him up. No, yeah. But yeah, so I got you covered.
No, actually, I'll get it.
Oh.
Yeah, I'll pick it up.
Thank,
Man, I owe this
Just
guy
call me
so
dude.
much for this weekend. So least I can do is spend money in his restaurant.
Yeah. Well, I just appreciate being a part of what you guys do. It's been
Yeah.
an honor to sit here and talk to you guys. I mean, this is fun. I could do this every day. And just to
It's
be
not
a
so
part of
bad, is it?
No, yeah.
No.
But yeah, so thank you for letting me sit in with you
Absolutely,
guys.
absolutely. I
It's
want to
cool.
say thank you to everybody as well, too, for sitting down. This was the most hodgepodge little conversation I've had on the show before. But
I bet you're
Really
going to
turned
find
out
out
great.
it's the most listened to as one as well. What is your most listened to podcast?
I think we did one where we ran through a list of like that Food and Wine put out of like the 30 most important bourbons.
Oh yeah, I was
Of
on
all
the
time.
I was on the panel that picked those.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
picked the list apart a little
Yeah.
bit. So-
Good. You should.
Can we do something fun that Fred did? I'm going to borrow a page from you. Is yesterday that I thought was really fun was before we sign off.
Yeah.
What was everybody's first drink? I thought that was brilliant, and people had some real stories about that, you know?
First drink ever?
Ever.
Whoa.
I know mine right off the bat. I drank a Colt 45 at 15 years old.
Wasn't that the most common one that people would say yesterday?
Colt
Colt 45.
That most people's response was Colt 45.
No, it was not Colt 45.
No, yesterday in the interviews.
It was Colt 45?
That's what David Byrne said.
There's no way.
You were in the room. They
I
all
wasn't
said,
in with David Byrne. I was outside in the rain
Man.
where you put me.
All right, Autumn, what was yours?
Woodford Reserve on the rocks.
Wow.
Yeah, that was my
Okay.
first drink.
Nice.
Yeah.
Wow.
A true
And the last time she
Bourbonista.
drank it.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
think mine.
that's how I got my palate started, was all drinking bourbon.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
I think
still drink
mine
Woodford?
was-
I do.
Nice. Perry?
I think mine was red wine at Thanksgiving.
Oh, for God's sake.
Red wine's good
Dude,
for
I
your
mean,
hair.
come on.
I didn't drink for a long time.
Red wine at Thanksgiving.
I didn't drink until I was.
That hair just got less cool. I mean, you could have been like, you could have given the story of like, man, mom and dad were cooking a turkey, and me and the boys, we stole the cab, and we went in the basement and we chugged it. It was so cool.
That Robert Mondavi.
That was about to say that.
See, dude? On the same wavelength, man.
Yeah, red wine at Thanksgiving. I'm super cool.
No,
I'm super cool.
I mean, you know it's
If you
true
have
when
to
you
say it,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
you
know.
know, I don't know.
Okay, Fred, what about you?
I was, Dad was drinking a beer in the living room, and I was like, I want to drink it. And he was like, all right. And it was those big, tall cans of Foster's, the Australian beer,
An oil can.
and an oil can.
That's Australian for beer. Do you know that?
and
That's what Outback says.
I kicked it back, and I swear to God, it tasted like piss. I think I was 7 years old.
We had another guy
Wow.
yesterday that had his first drink at 7 years old. Do you remember that? The little guys from Swimming with Bears? He's like, he powered through a 12-ounce can of Bud Light and passed out on his floor.
Hey, those guys are awesome.
Dude.
We sat down with them and chatted for a little bit, and we were supposed to go
They're
hang
gonna
out with
make
them
it.
last night.
They're
but-
going to make
I
it.
think
They're
so,
going to, you know, you can, being in the kind of on the fray of the music business, you can kind of get a tell for the bands that are serious and have kind of like a work ethic.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
what it's all about, man. It's about work ethic. You may have talent, but if you're out there snorting cocaine all the time, you know, you're not going to make it. Not
Right.
in today's world.
Right.
Well, and they
Maybe-
put on a really good show yesterday.
And they got it before the rain. Mm-hmm. So,
One of the few. Well, anyway, I want to say thank you all so much for
Hey, man,
for hanging
thank
out
you.
and sitting
Yeah,
down.
thanks
It's
for
always
having
fun.
us.
I've told
chatting
you
with
this before,
Fred.
Perry, but you are a very good interviewer.
Thank you.
You-
and now
you-
it's on the record.
You take
can't
the
take
pulse.
that away.
You take the pulse of the people on your panel, and you ask good questions, and yeah.
Well, I appreciate that. Man.
Yeah.
There was a tear down Perry's eye. And a dramatic
Accept it
fashion.
while I
one.
give it.
Just
All right,
one.
let's go eat.
All right, let's do
Sweet.
it.
It's awesome.
Well, that about does it for our coverage of Bourbon and Beyond 2018. As I said, too, we are super excited for Bourbon and Beyond 2019. And I'm sure that we will be back there again covering the festivities and getting to meet lots more people and having a good time. But just to kind of give you guys a look to see what's coming up in the future, next week we are going to have Chad and Sarah back on from It's Bourbon Night, and my dad actually is going to be on that episode as well. And I'm not going to spoil too much of it because I want you to listen in and see what happens. And then in a few weeks, we are actually going to be having our 50th episode and 1 year anniversary spectacular. And you are definitely not going to want to miss that. That's going to drop on October 24th. We are getting closer and closer to that date. In the meantime, go follow us on social media at My Bourbon Pod on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. You can also find us on YouTube, where I've been doing live streams every Tuesday night. So just head to YouTube and search This Is My Bourbon Podcast. You'll be able to find the channel there. Head to bourbonshop.threadless.com for all of our apparel and merchandise. And that's a great way to help support the show. But you can also support the show at patreon.com/mybourbonpodcast. For as little as $1 a month, you can help us keep going. We are officially, as of today, fully funded in terms of covering our hosting costs for the podcast. So I just want to say a huge thank you to everybody who is supporting us over on Patreon. It means a whole lot. Give us a rate and review on iTunes. That really helps people to find us. Tell your friends. Subscribe to the show if you haven't done it already. I think about does it. Thank you all so much for listening. We, of course, couldn't do this without you. I will see you next week, but until then, I'm Perry, and this is My Bourbon Podcast.